The first wave. My agents will follow and secure the base as you make your way through.
Hello guys and welcome back to another video. It's me, Skater Chris underscore YT or Christian or Chris, whatever you want to call me. So today we're back with a different kind of video. So this is not a cozy farm game, a vlog, or anything like that. This is about a game called Avengers, well, Marvel Avengers. So this one is a bit of an older game, but I just wanted to, talk a little bit about it. So as you know, with Marvel Avengers, came out a few years ago, back in 2020, developed by Square Enix, and it was basically like the concept of like a Marvel, like a Marvel superhero team. It has the Avengers, Captain America, Hawkeye, Black Widow, Thor, Iron Man, and then Hulk, and then this one is featuring heavily with Kamala, aka Miss Marvel, or yeah, Miss Marvel. And then not only that, had DLC characters such as who we're seeing right now, Kate Bishop, Winter Soldier, the final one, Black Panther, Spider-Man, and Jane Foster, I believe. Yeah, Jane Foster. And of course, there's going to be a big more other people. A list actually got leaked before the game came out, I think a month after. It was supposed to be Captain Marvel, who is very featured in the game a lot. You see her in the posters, you hear her mentioned, so you see her a lot. But unfortunately, she did not make the cut because the game ended up getting, I forgot what happened. I think it was canceled or shut down, something like that in 2023, and it ended, which is super sad, especially after we got Winter Soldier. So it was kind of sad, like this is like the final, character coming to the game. Reminded me a lot about Friday 13 when that got canceled, but that's neither here or there. But a lot of people, when they think of Avengers or you see reviews, it's just very, very negative, not very not very positive at all. And as I just want to, shed some light on the game today, saying that, guys, it's just not that bad. Like me personally, I felt like I really liked the game. I grew up playing Marvel Ultimate Alliance 1 and 2. There was a third one, but I don't talk about that much because I was a big fan of that. But I felt like with Marvel Avengers, it was a pretty good game. It was totally different. You did play with a squad that could be online or offline, of course, but with this one, it was more so like solo. Like you couldn't switch between characters. Like whoever you loaded the game up with, that's who you would play with until I think after the mission was over, then you play with a different person. So that was cool. And then, there was like, like skills, abilities, combos, takedowns, it was like very, a lot of cool features, a lot of cool things. And then of course, like, if some of them had a bit of a puzzles, very dungeon quality, but it was really good. I enjoyed it. It had a great story mode and a DLC story. Then then all I get like updates. I feel like it was every couple weeks or a month. It was like new, like I forgot what they call it, like vault missions, things like that. So it was really, really cool. I really enjoyed it a lot. Now, most of the player base, not sure what everyone issue was with it in particular. I know it was like just different things for everybody. I forgot. Yeah, it was different things. Not sure what was most of it. I probably should have checked some of the reviews, but they were not happy with that at all. I think maybe because they didn't like it was centered around Kamala, or they just like the gameplay. I don't know. They just weren't big fans of it at all. So it was definitely reviewed very poorly. A lot of people were fans of it. I think some people who made it to being the story didn't pick it up again. Me personally, I was there every day after the story. I still played it. Got all my players to level 50, everyone Avengers. And then even after that, I would just still play, the events, try to lock as much cosmetics. Like it was a lot. And then some of them were very comic based too, even from like the official movies like Avengers, Infinity War, or like the Spider-Man movies. So it was like it was very, very cool. Like I said, this is like kind of the second thing I had that was like close to Ultimate Alliance. So this one, it felt that void a little bit. So I enjoyed it a lot. I felt like it was really, really good. I love the training sequence. I love the combos. The combos, there weren't really much of it. Most were like XX square or square square triangle. So not that much of it, but it was still enjoyable. It wasn't as horrible as people made it out to seem like, which is why, when I was reading the reviews, I was like, okay, this is what they're saying. I need to personally play it and have my own opinion. And me, I personally enjoy it. I think it's really cool. Unfortunately, because it got canceled, it was one of those games where it's just like, okay, when we cancel the game, we're shutting it down completely. So it's been delisted from the store. So I don't think you'll be able to find it on PlayStation, PC, Xbox, Steam, and others. This is one of those things where it's just like you'll either have to find it on Amazon, eBay, or just go to your local GameStop, hopefully. So this game did come out 2020, so I don't think that it will be that hard to find it at a GameStop. You may have, if it's at your local one, maybe you have to go a couple ones or a game store, but you should be able to find this game. It's not that old, it's not like something that came out a long time ago or nothing like that. So that's a cool part about it. But I thought if you haven't played it, you should definitely give it, at least one play around. I think you may like it. I don't think it's that bad. And then, yeah, and it's just like, I was like, oh man, I kind of really miss this game a little bit. I used to play it like, not every day, but I played it every other day, things like that. Because just like, I feel like we don't have a lot of well, we don't at all. We don't have a lot of Marvel superhero games. It started off with, what was first? I think first was like Fantastic Four, which is based off the movie. And then it was X-Men Legends, which was very centered around the X-Men team. And then they had like, I think Iron Man and Deadpool in the second one. And then it was Ultimate Alliance, which was like, kind of like this game, but it featured more of the Marvel cast, things like that. And then more of Ultimate Alliance 2. And then very briefly, there was a game called I think it was Marvel Heroes. It was like an online game, and it was very, what was it? I think it was not first person, but it was like, it was more, it was kind of like Diablo style, like kind of like a bird eye view, and that one had a big list of players too, so that was very close to it. But that one, it's like you're playing solo, you're playing one person, you just be like mission after mission. So I remember when I first got my PS4, I played that game, but I didn't like the way it looked, so I uninstalled it. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to reinstall back in because I just really thought about it years later. I forgot what year it was I tried to reinstall. I think maybe 2021 or 2. I'm not sure. But I was keeping up with the game, so I was surprised to find out that the game got canceled. I said, wait a minute, hold up. And then I checked their Twitter, their like Google, YouTube. They were saying, yeah, the game got shut down. I was like, oh, wow. But I did hear recently that they just got their servers back up online, so maybe they're in beta testing, something like that, but they plan on bringing the game back. So I did, and then of course, I looked at more YouTube videos because I never really played. I played the game probably for like 10 minutes and I installed it, I think, or maybe didn't uninstall it, but probably didn't play it, and then ended up uninstalling it. And the game, I don't like the way it looks, but I don't remember the gameplay style, so maybe it's not that horrible. But that's fun. And then also, I've heard recently, like very, very recently, that there's supposed to be another Marvel Avengers reboot game. Not reboot of this game in particular, but like they're gonna make their own Marvel Avengers. Now, it's just gonna be very interesting because this one came out and people were hyped for it, but they didn't have payment, so I'm just a bit concerned about that. I'm like, oh my gosh, is this going to be better? Is it going to be worse? But me personally, I just would want a Marvel Avengers game where it's just like, it's kind of like Ultimate Alliance a little bit. So in my eyes, Ultimate Alliance, that was like such a perfect, superhero team. Like, it's like you have your four favorite heroes, whoever you want to play with, mix and match a bit, and it's just like, you can like pick and choose throughout the level who you want to play with. It wouldn't have to be just one person that other things like that. Just something fun like that. But you know what? You never know, what game it'll be about or how it plays. So, I'm very optimistic about that. But, I just hope for the best, that there's more, like games that come out. So again, I personally feel like Avengers is not a horrible game, A lot of people probably think that, but me personally, I loved it, It could have been better. I wish we at least got Captain Marvel for it and did, unfortunately we didn't get that, that sucked. But, through all in all, I feel like it's pretty good, It had some ups and downs, a lot of DLC characters we never got to play with. I really wanted to play with Scarlet Witch too, I'm not gonna lie. I was a bit bummed out about that and Captain Marvel. And I think She-Hulk just got leaked too, like the concept art, because I think, she was supposed to be the next, so they say that it was supposed to be She-Hulk before Jane Foster. No, She-Hulk before Winter Soldier. And I think the She-Hulk show was coming out, so they ended up just like canceling it out or switching over. I don't know, because I don't know. It's a whole big thing, but yeah, that's apparently what they say. So yeah, again, I just saw some clips about like, I'm reminiscing about this game. It wasn't that bad as you guys made it out to be, and I'm just very hopeful and can't wait for the new Avengers game. So yeah, I just want to come here and say that. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you hate Avengers, let me know in the comments. Be respectful. Just let me know, what did you hate about it, what you liked about it, so we can have a fairly debate about it. But that's all I want to talk about today. You know, just talk about Avengers, saying it was too horrible. So I hope everyone enjoys this video. Please give me a big thumbs up and like. And yeah, and make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. And I'll see you guys next time.